time. I see. Oh, man. Matt Connolly, Hollywood Matt Connolly joining us. How are we, brother? What's going on?
I'm good. I'm very bicep flexed.
I will never cease to be amazed at the peak in your bicep. It is the boss. I don't know how you do it. Were you born that way or what? Like,
Man, I've been training for
that?
21 years. 21 years in the gym. Like, my idol is Arnold Schwarzenegger. I've been wanting to be like him since I was about 8 years old. And the moment.
Was that bicep crafted through work, or was that always the shape it had?
Been a lot of hard
crafted?
work.
Nice,
oh
okay.
yeah.
So there's hope. There's hope. Like, I might get a pick. I mean, like, if we keep those biceps up for a moment. You've got a Devon Larratt style bicep. Devon's got the same thing. Levan's got barely anything up here too. Like, his is almost a flat line. So I'm more like Levan, and you're more like Devon on the bicep. if we can dare draw, if we can dare draw those parallels. Anyway.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Levan has more body fat. Somebody says.
Levan has more body fat. That's from Papuna Official. Good to see you, man. First comment on the show, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in. So we're live on a bunch of new platforms. As you can see, Hollywood Matt Connolly's YouTube channel down there, my YouTube channel down here, which I don't know where you're watching from. It's on the Facebook pages as well. But good to see you here, guys. Man, we're just going to take it easy tonight. We're going to talk. Obviously, everyone's talked about this 1,000 times. You never know, we might have forgotten something. But we're gonna discuss this again. We're going to go through it. There's dramas everywhere. As we get closer, the polls are doing crazy things. All sorts of stuff is going on. But Matt Connolly, where are you at with this? What are we, 9 days out now?
Yeah,
how are
next weekend's going to be massive.
Match?
Oh, my thoughts and opinions haven't changed at all, despite all of the... I've seen so many people jumping on the Devon train, and I'm a huge Devon fan. I hope that he does win. But in terms of his chances in this match, I just think nothing has changed. I think Levan's going to pull it off 6-0, and the only way that... But I do think if Devon gets a stop, if he gets one stop, he'll win the match.
Yeah,
but
just one. That's all.
Just one, yeah. I think if he can get one and he can tire out Levan for 5 to 10 seconds, I think that's enough for him to then turn it around and win the rest of the match.
Yeah, there we go. Hey, Papuna Official, he says I'm Georgian and I have my birthday on the 25th of June. Imagine that. Levan better congratulate me with a 6-0. It's one of the weirdest things as Tim Pipe comes in. Good to see you, Tim Pipe, from the Gold Coast on Australia there. Tim Pipe says, Devon will show the world how good he is. Pumpkin power. There you go. He's disagreeing with you, Matt Connolly. And Matt Connolly, you, my friend, it's weird to say this, but you are now in the minority. Like a fairly significant minority. I've polled this question. I've asked this question every day for the last 4 days, and I intend to ask it until the match. And I'm going to chart everyone's responses and whether there's more or growing confidence or reducing confidence in either guy. But if I have a look at today's poll, let me have a quick look at where we're at. Right now, we got a total of 63% of people think Devon will win it.
Yeah. I wish I was running a betting agency.
It's funny if I can break it down a little bit further, 21% of people say Devon will win, and they're confident. Like they're the ones that will bet. There's 42% of people say Devon will win, but I'm nervous. Okay, those ones aren't betting. They think he's got it, but you know what they mean, just like that. And then the only 27% of people saying Levan wins, and I'm confident.
Only 27% of people are going to win money.
and then 9% say Levan wins, but I'm nervous. So it's a fascinating thing. I don't know what's happened. Like honestly, it's clear Devon Larratt has so many fans. he is an amazingly charismatic dude, talented arm wrestler, great storyteller. He does everything well. Very likable guy. So it's no surprise he's got a lot of fans, and he's active on social media. But is he cast a spell on everyone? Has he?
this is pretty traditional of what happens leading up to a main event for, say, UFC or for boxing. When the match is first announced, people just go, "Oh no, there's no chance. Like that guy's obviously going to win." But then throughout the training camp, throughout the preparation, throughout the hype videos, throughout the marketing, the media aspect, what they're releasing on social media, people tend to change their mind, not through logic, but through what they're being presented with. And it's like, if you look at from the outsider's perspective, why would you have changed your opinion? Like, what has, as you've said, you're not sure why people are changing. And it's mainly because it's being exposed more, and people that aren't as cluey in arm wrestling are just going, "Oh yeah, I've heard of Devon. Yeah, I think he'll win." It's like, okay, well, at the start,
they're
3 months
latching
ago.
I for this match, I've personally, with the promotions I've been doing, I've tried really hard to tell the story of both athletes, and I've tried to present it in a way that doesn't say this guy is going to win and this guy's not. I've tried to tell both of their stories very well. I want people to believe in both of them. Keep in mind, I promised the arm wrestling world I will give my official prediction. Okay, after we see the press conference, I will give my official prediction on what's going to happen. So you can all go and bet on what I'm saying, or the opposite if you're one of those people who thinks I never get it right. I will give it official. I will. But I'm not yet prepared to give my official prediction. So I'm painting the picture as best I can for everyone. But it's tricky, man. It's proper tricky. Hey, Mazel Jajor in the chat, a Canadian gentleman himself, Mazel Jajor. Good to see you here, brother. Thank you so much. He says, interesting, Devon will win. 5-1. His center of table is at an all-time high. The stop happens in round 2, and he is incomparable to any form before. And this is the thing, isn't it? This is the thing. The one factor at hand that is truly unknown, the biggest thing, is where's Devon's strength at with all this size that he's brought. That's the biggest unknown. I think Levan's strength we have a good appreciation for. We saw what he did to Dave Chafee. Add a couple of percent to that because this match is down the track and it probably means a bit more to him. So add maybe 5% to whatever he did to Dave Chafee. But how Devon's added more than 5%, in my opinion. I do think that his transformation is a more significant one in the percentage regard. But is it enough to do what Mazel Jajor done? Is there a part of you, Matt Connolly, that actually fears that Mazel's right and it's gonna go like that?
Oh, I hope that he's right. Like I as I said, I want Devon to win. I just think I see Levan just crushing through him every single round. Where I see him having a chance is the later rounds where, Devon has always had that same style, that vampire sort of bleed you style. And for people to have changed their opinion on the way that he arm wrestles to he's now the strongest man ever and can stop everyone in the middle of the table regardless. It's like he's never been that. He's never done that. And that's like, why has he suddenly just changed his complete technical ability to something that's almost the opposite of what he always does? So the way I see the match happening, I see Levan just crushing through the first, second round, like just instant pins. And hopefully Devon is looking at trying to slow him down in those rounds rather than trying to stop him in the middle, trying to get a pin or do anything crazy. It's like he's just got to put work into Levan's arm. The third round, I think, is where he would be looking to try to get that stop, and he's not going to get that stop in the middle. It's going to come, at that bicep hold, that pronation point. If you can get to that point and then start making Levan work, that's where he's got his chance. But for people to say that, Devon is going to crush him, he's going to do this, it's like, well, he's never been that style of arm wrestler, that he's going to take the lead, he's just going to take the center and just destroy people and run through them. He's always been more defensive, more strategic, more tactical, and reacting to what the opponent does.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I highly doubt we're going to see a center table aggression from Devon in the early rounds. No way. He's not coming forward straight at Levan. Levan would laugh. I think Levan would laugh at Devon's side pressure. I think he would. I think he'd just laugh. Something like that. That's what it sounded like. If Devon went straight side on the first round, that's what we'd hear. I think that's so good. Yeah. I do agree, Mazel, that I think a lot of people have asked me, how does Devon win if he does? And look, I think the first round, if Devon wins a round, I think it's in a high hook. I think the first time he'll pin Levan will be because he's managed to gas he's Levan's hand through King's moves and whatever and all that tomfoolery. And then once he's put enough bullets into him, then he'll go to the high hook. But he's got to get the bullets into him. That's the thing. Hey, we got to. I don't know what Levan sounds like when he laughs, but that's how I imagine it to sound.
Oh man!
It's gotta be close. Hey, Optim. How do I say this name? Optimal Rice. It sounds like some kind of what do you call it? Network marketing supplement. Optimal Rice. Hey, he says, did you see Devon? Sorry, not Levan. Did you see Devon in his latest unboxing video looking huge? Well, let's have a look. I haven't seen it, but we can do it right now. Let me just bring this up. Let me do a couple of things. How do I do this? It's been a while. Hang on a second. Screen share. Chrome tab. Share that one. Okay. We'll screen it. So yeah, Devon's looking. I guess he is looking pretty large. All that. Hang on, let me just hide that comment there. Yeah, you can see the right arm on him there. Yeah, if we look at just the general size of him relative to times gone by, he's definitely a different man, isn't he? He's not the same man that we've seen competing. I think he said he's waking up at. Did he say 287 or 278?
Wow.
Either way, and that's he said he's naked, taking a piss weight. So,
right. I mean, he does look thicker. I was actually hoping to be more impressed with this video. I'm not that impressed, to be honest.
Yeah, John Milton's not a big dude, but you can see the neck of Devon's looking thick. There's not a lot of narrowing going on there at the neck. In respect to chest thickness and shoulder depth, I mean, he does to me look like a different version of Devon. It's pretty evident. The bicep and all that sort of stuff. Could you say it's maybe slightly less vascular than it would have been in times gone by?
Yeah, potentially. It's definitely bigger. You can see that. His face, he's got more fluid, water retention around the face, the neck, the shoulders, chest, everything is larger, absolutely. But, when it was like, you've got to see how big he is, I was like, I was sort of expecting, 3 times bigger than what he is here. Like,
well, we do get, the thing is, we get used to people presenting and posing in, I guess, good positions. Devon's just chilling here, so he's not puffing up. I mean, Devon's a master of making himself look massive when he does all this crap and that. He out angles the world. But I don't know. I do remember when Devon walked in against Michael Todd, he looked giant then. And Devon is saying he's bigger than that. Oh, I thought he was going to stand up then. Let's have a look. Come on, Devon. Oh, he's going to put the shirt on. Give us a flex, Devon.
I have no idea what's off though.
I have no idea. I haven't watched this video, but he does look thick. Come on, I know that's an extra layer of t-shirt there, but that does. Look at him. Look at that
It looks
shot.
like he's wearing 2 t-shirts.
Look at that shot. He looks thick as.
He does look thicker, absolutely, than normal. But yeah, I thought that he would have been a lot bigger. But he did when he stepped up against Michael Todd when he came out on. When I remember seeing that event, when he walked out to the table, it was like, oh wow, he's huge there. So if he's bigger than that, I'm probably not seeing it properly because he's sitting down. But if he's bigger than that, then yeah, he's made some significant gains.
For sure. Hey, Tim Pipe, he's made comment on that match. He says, I remember when Devon held Michael Todd with his Kings move in the straps at WAL tournament. If he can hold Monster for a solid minute, then Levan will wee a little and lose his cool. What do you think about Levan and the whole endurance thing? If you remember, and when I say endurance, I'm not talking. I'm going to change that. Not endurance, but aerobic capacity and how that may affect things. And the reason I say that is, you'll recall his match with Dave Chafee. By round 2, Levan was sweating bullets by round 2, and he was winning in a canter at that point in time. And that was rigid rules, no fuss starts. If Devon drags this out and causes mayhem, we might see that same degree of huffing and puffing before the first round even gets a go. Would you see that as a possible? Is that a factor? Does it come into play?
I think that's what Devon is counting on. That the entrance ramp from where you come in to where the table is really long, and there's like some hills. Yeah. To get to the table, but no, it's he's definitely going to be pushing that endurance part. And yeah, if you're that big, like if you're Levan's size, like everything is a struggle. Like getting in and out of the car is a struggle. Putting your clothes on, you're going to get out of breath. You know, bending to tie your shoelaces is difficult. Like at that size, it is your leverage points. They're being blocked every which way by the size of your arms, by body fat, by muscle. He is going to struggle if it gets into the later rounds, and Devon is still looking like he's working and making Levan work harder and harder. But yeah, those kind of guys, like I see in the gym all the time, not that they're arm wrestlers, but people who are mega strong for like 1 or 2 lifts, like just a one movement, if they're doing a bench press or a powerlifting sort of movement, a deadlift or something, and all they're going to do is pick it up once or twice. And, it might take 15 minutes between sets and they're pouring out with sweat to do that one lift. So it's similar to that, but yeah, it depends. I mean, that's definitely going to be Devon's strategy, is make him work, make him tired. If he's tired, I can win.
Yeah, yeah, he has to go for that. Because like if this is a video game character and you're just saying who's got the points, Levan is a 10 strong. We don't know where Devon is on strength, but it's somewhere south of that, by a margin. Like at best he's probably an 8 relative to Levan. Devon's at best an 8 on strength. You could probably do the exact opposite for aerobic capacity. Muscular endurance is a weird one. It's often misconstrued, I think, because a lot of the time just being stronger means you're not going to fatigue. It doesn't really matter that you don't have an ability to maintain tension for longer. It's very easy to look like you've got great endurance when you're way, way, way stronger. But Devon, in a who can hold a maximum contraction for the longest period of time, you got to go Devon, surely. Speed, I'm going to give the edge to Levan by a touch.
Wow.
I don't know. Is that true? Devon's slow as, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Devon's rarely hitting. Like I said, I feel like Levan would laugh if Devon tried to hit. I get you Hey, Hound Stuff's got an interesting question. He said, some interesting conversation here about the match rules. What happens if a punch is thrown? Do you see these dudes turning up and being really genuinely like pissed at each other?
Yeah, there's definitely some emotion going into this. I think from everything I've heard about Levan, from his training partners, from the people that have been talking to him, that he's angry, he's pissed off. It's like, okay, that's great. It is still an arm wrestling match. It is not you're not going in there to knock somebody out. You're not trying to physically hurt somebody. You're trying to win the arm wrestling match. If somebody throws a punch in this situation, it is completely unprofessional, uncalled for. They should be immediately banned from not banned, but maybe disqualified. That should be the end of the event. You cannot act that way in a professional sports league. It is an arm wrestling competition at the end of the day. If you physically assault somebody because you're not happy with the things that they've said leading up to the competition, you are absolutely in the wrong, and there is no justification for that.
Yeah, and I don't expect any of that to happen. But what I do expect it to happen is that violence to take its form in arm wrestling, and that I don't know. Levan has withdrawn from the involvement of the back and forth with Devon over the last month, since their public row about the rules and the auto strap and all that sort of stuff. It was like Levan made a conscious decision to say, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. Not going to do this. I'm stepping back and not going to do it. I have a feeling though, like I know what it's like to have your buttons pushed on the internet. I mean, Levan is having his buttons pushed as hard as they can right now. He's going to have heightened emotion beyond that of just what the arm wrestling match means. I think he's going to have heightened emotion on the fuck you side as well. And I don't know. We don't know you. I don't think we've ever seen Levan in that state of mind before. It can be a double-edged sword, can't it? It can make you a badass, but can make you make errors.
Yeah, that's right. If you're going with emotion, it can work for you or against you. And usually what will happen is that you'll get an explosion or an adrenaline dump in the first minute of a competition, and then it can really gas you out very quickly. And you can put logic to the side, especially if, say, Devon's standing there talking trash to you the entire time, messing around with the rules, making it uncomfortable, and you're just getting more and more frustrated. You might forget what you were disciplining yourself over the last few months to do to win the competition. So Devon's obviously going to be doing that. He knows that is a very good strategy for him. He's a master tactician for that reason. And if Levan is sort of biting into it, and you can almost see that he might be really getting kind of affected by this, the fact that he has stayed off social media, he has avoided. It's like, well, if you're avoiding, then this is working. I'm going to keep pushing and making it more and more, to the point where you are so furious, you're going to step on that table and you're going to want to kill me. Like, that's what I want you to feel, because at that point, yeah, you'll probably crush me the first 2 rounds, but then maybe you put all of your energy and all of your anger and rage and effort into those 2 rounds, and now you've got nothing left. And it's like, now I can start to turn the tide. And how bad would that be when the guy that you have been hating for months then starts to turn around?
And we start hearing, yeah, big boy, things like that.
Yeah.
Hey, Tim Piper, he's commented there saying, I hear Dana White will mediate the weigh-in. Do you think, on the press conference side of things, and this is actually where I think if it's ever going to genuinely boil over, I think it'll happen at the press conference. I don't think it'll happen at the match. I think both guys, and let's be honest, Devon is the antagonist in this situation. He is coming at Levan with emotions and psychology, and he is trying to get under that man's skin, and he will do the constant time. Devon is burning all bridges here to get this win. In my opinion, I think he will. He'll do anything and everything possible. And I don't know. In my head, I'm imagining the press conference is going to be really, really spicy. I think Devon is going to really make it spicy. like if you watched Devon on the recent fix, the last time I saw Devon live, he called Levan a pussy again, and he said, and he went out there and said, look, Levan, you can get all offended about me calling you a pussy, but I don't take lightly people casually saying that they'd kill me and my family either. So I take offense to that. You want to say, oh, you'd get killed for that over here? Well, I don't take that. So like Devon's pushing buttons hard. He is. And he said, look, if it comes to that, we got problems. We got problems. Like, so he's pushing buttons, man. He is. I don't expect like there's clearly a cultural difference, and Devon's driving that wedge in as hard as he can. At that press conference, I expect Levan to come into that press conference with the mindset of like, just stay calm, stay focused, just deliver my points. He's probably got them written down in his head or whatever. He knows what he's going to say. He's going to say it. Don't bite, don't bite, don't bite, don't bite. But that press conference goes for an hour and a half or whatever. Like, and Devon will have that microphone for 85% of that time, probably. Does he handle that heat without emotionally reacting? Can he do it? Like, that's a hard thing to do. Just sit there and just take it.
Yeah, I think he has one advantage that he doesn't speak English, so that he's going to have to get the results translated to him. And maybe he's got, if he hires like a really nice translator, he just says, "Oh no, Devon's complimenting you on your technique." And
Devon probably needs to hire a Georgian translator that will speak for him. Like, he'll say it, and then I don't want to rely. Devon, if you do this, please, that'd be great. If Devon brings a Georgian translator, so he and that Georgian translator is on Team Devon and wants to speak like a badass, that would be great. Oh man, Devon, I hope he brings a Georgian translator with him now.
Yeah, I don't think the Georgian translator doesn't take it to the next level and then starts like adding his own stuff in.
That's it. The Chinese whisper starts happening with double translators and whatnot. Oh my goodness. So you think Levan can keep his cool and not bite?
It's going to be hard, like you said. I didn't realize it was going to be an hour and a half press conference. That's massive.
That's just typically how long they've gone for in the past.
Wow.
Yeah. There are less cards on this. There are less cards on this one, or less matches on this card. Sorry, so it may be shorter, but given the weight of this match, I can anticipate that it's going to go for a long time. You guys in the comments, Hound Stuff says, yeah, the presser will be interesting. Go Devon from Greg Davis. So who started it first? Who started it? Who started this back and forth?
Devon.
Of course it was Devon. It had to be Devon.
It's his advantage to do it. It's in his interest. The angrier he can get Levan, the better it is for him.
Yeah. And the Wandering Arm Wrestler's coming here with a point here. He said, my guess is that Levan has talked with Saplenkov for tips about how to combat Devon from the psychological to the physical. I think he'll be well prepared to handle the whole situation without any issues. And yeah, that is the right strategy for Levan, is just to keep it cool, just to do his thing. Let the arm wrestling do the talking. We have heard him say that in a couple of social media posts that he has made. That's what he's declared. But that is easier said than done. And the reason it's easier said than done is one of the big factors I want to talk about, and it's something that I'm going to be doing live with Bill Collins later on tonight on my other channel, is the rules. It's easy to stay cool, calm, collected, and let the referees just start the match when you are in the PAL under rigid rules, because those referees will foul out anyone for looking sideways twice. You move, you're gone in those ones. So you can trust the strictness of the situation. King of the table, the precedent has been set in the past. It's a long way from rigid rules, isn't it? It took 5 minutes to start round one with Devon and John. If Levan sits there and waits for a referee to take control, Levan risks losing a lot of center in terms of the millimeters that matter, and he also risks being gassed out. Because I think Devon, if Levan sits purely relaxed, Devon will start to just do stuff that will start to. And Levan, the longer he sits there like that, the more he will feel, in my opinion, he'll start to feel the pendulum slowly going towards Devon. And when he senses that, he'll react. Has to. He'll have to say, no. Let's get this done. Let's start. Let's say go. And then what I anticipate from Devon is Devon's going to bring it as close to the go as possible. So Devon really does muscle up, and then Devon will take it way back again. He's not going to get there. And he'll talk to Bill, and he'll say, what the hell, Bill? He's doing this, that, the other. These bloody Georgians. Like, that's the sort of stuff you're going to hear from Devon. And then how the hell does Levan handle that?
Yeah, I mean, he's really going to have to take the leaf out of Denis Saplenkov, and the way that he acted during his match with Devon through left hand was the perfect example. Devon tried everything and anything, all the tactics. He even false started, I think, twice, and Denis just let him pin him. Like, he'd put no resistance in his arm. Yeah, no, okay, you want to false start? Okay. He didn't get upset. He didn't get angry. His demeanor is very different to Levan's, though. I mean, yeah, Denis has always come across as quite a calm, sort of humble guy. But he, in those setups, he just waited. He just sat there, put his hand there, didn't put any tension in his hand. And you saw in the interviews after that Devon said, yeah, Denis just didn't fall for anything that I did. He wouldn't put tension. I couldn't tire him out. I was trying to grip him, was trying to do this. And the whole time he just stayed relaxed. The false starts, he didn't fall for that. And then when they said go, he just crushed him. So if Levan can keep that discipline, he could do the same thing. However, the emotion that he has sort of displayed, or the fact that he is keeping silent and keeping away, and it does highlight the fact that he's probably not going to be able to do that.
Yeah, and as I said, the rule sets too. The rule sets do allow for more of that nonsense to happen compared to the Saplenkov match, which was PAL rigid. This is an interesting one, touching on kind of what you mentioned earlier, Matt, from BKC Arm. He says Devon is great, but I don't think you'll ever reach the heights of 08, 012 again. Many times we mold our minds to believe our fantasies, and Devon is in the phase of delusion that he is at his best form. It's hard to judge best form in a sport where it's human on human, compared to powerlifting, where we know, oh yeah, you lifted your record then. Is it delusion right now on Devon as his best form, or do you think this is his best form?
Yeah, I think he's really stepped up here. I mean, in those years where he was dealing with a lot of injuries throughout his career, and there was ups and downs. And to say, 2008, 2012 is when he was coming back from injury, or he was at his sort of peak before an injury occurred, and then he had to go down again. But you can only judge, as you said, in combat sports or in a sport where you're competing directly against another combatant, against the other combatants he's competing against. So Levan wasn't around in those days, or if he was, it wasn't that he was directly competing with the North American arm wrestlers. And it's sort of, if you're going to compare history to now, it's almost detrimental to do it that way, because it's like, nothing has changed in terms of the logic of looking at where, if you look at the last 6 months, that's where you'll find your answer as to who's the favorite in this match. And that's why Levan came out at like a 99% favorite when the match was first announced. And it's only through the media, the marketing, the sort of the hype, the exposure of the match that people have started to change their opinion. But they shouldn't have changed their opinion, because nothing really has changed in terms of the technical ability of either guy. Devon's gotten bigger, he's gotten stronger. But apart from that, that's really the only thing that has changed. They're both peaking for this match. Devon's looking bigger and stronger than ever. I think he would destroy his 2008, 2012 version of himself right now, especially going all in on right arm. And with the experience he's shown in the last few matches that he's had, where he's just jumped on, gotten massive, But for people to say 2008, 2012 was the best Devon we've ever seen, I think he would be crushed by your current version.
Yeah, I'm going to put an interesting poll out right now for these guys that are on the chat. We've got 39 people in my YouTube channel. I need you guys to be really, really honest with us here. Okay. Your life depends on it. Who are you betting on? Okay, just be honest, damn it. I want to know. Your life depends on it. Literally, there's a gun to your head. You've got to get this right. Who are you betting on?
I'm going to put Ryan's laugh, Ryan's impression of Levan's laugh any good?
Oh, that's so good. All right, so the votes are coming in. Let's have a look at how these votes go. Okay. 10 votes in so far, 80% of them on Levan. Look at this. This is interesting. This is interesting. Let's let it wait for a few more. 16 votes in now, 62% on Levan. Okay, there's a few people genuinely think Devon will win. Or are those people voting Devon right now just trying to psychologically manipulate everyone again?
Is that the betting lines? I haven't looked at it. Was it the website that usually does a lot of arm wrestling?
Yeah, StakeKings. Yeah. I mean, it's shutout stakes. It's shutout stakes. I mean, Devon's block is selling out faster, but he only has to win one round.
Only one round. Oh my god!
Levan's got to win 6-0 to get a payout. So, yeah. So the money is speaking there that people are Devon's the favorite under those circumstances, which is fair enough. One round, it's easy enough for Devon to get one round. You think maybe. He does have the edge in a few areas. Aaron Kramer wants to know, hey Ryan, would you agree that although Levan has the physical edge, Devon has the mental edge? He has somewhat of a mental edge. There are components to it that sometimes being silent and stoic and just that brings with it its own mental edge. A lot of the time, that's very intimidating, especially if you're a talker and you've talked, and your opponent just stares you in the eyes like, I do not give a shit. That's intimidating. That's a mentally intimidating response. So it depends on how this is handled in the next 9 days. I think Levan will attempt to do that. Whether if he bites, Devon's got the edge. If Levan doesn't bite and just stares Devon down, then Levan's got the edge. In my opinion.
It's Rocky IV. It's Ivan Drago. That's what Levan needs to present. No emotion, just a huge, big, intimidating opponent that doesn't speak the same language, doesn't care about when Apollo Creed was talking all that trash and dancing his way to the ring and he had all this and he's going to do this, he's going to do that. And when he went to touch gloves, that's when he was like, I might be in trouble here.
Yeah, look, there's a few people saying Levan's 6-0, and yeah, Devon will on the other side of there's Harley Green saying Devon will bleed and triumph. Like, I like to go into my mind and imagine all the possibilities when I'm as an athlete, as I'm preparing for a match. I do it and I try to prepare myself and all my counters that I might need, and I do it as a commentator as well for a match, so I can see it come to life and I can try to give the viewing audience the best understanding of what's coming next. And for this match, when I go into that realm, and I don't want to give you my prediction here on what's going to win yet because that's coming, I'm saving it. But the options of where this match goes, it could be really, really brutal, as you're saying, and just be bang 6-0. Like, if that happens, I actually think it's pretty cool if it does happen. It's pretty cool for just saying, wow, he did that to this Devon. That's amazing. And then it's done. Look, if Levan does that, it's done. He is the peak of the sport. Good night. It's done. He can retire. Everyone will consider him the peak of the sport for a long, 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 long time. But the other shape is, oh man, Levan's not as strong as we thought he was, or Devon's leveled up, or something. And man, the stop is on, and that to me that's the exciting one. Well, as you said, we want Devon to win because I think that the response from the sports fans of the world is bigger in just the sheer craziness of it all, and
The
the
worst
growth
thing that
probably.
can happen. Worst thing that can happen is Levan wins 6-0. Because then you've got, well, who's next? There isn't anybody that's going to be able to beat this guy.
No one.
Yeah. That ends that whole storyline. Whereas if Devon wins or he gets a few rounds, it creates that, it's a possibility, and you've got people that and more interest and more matches and more, a rematch or this guy who's up and coming. But if Levan just absolutely crushes him, I think in terms of marketability for the sport, it's just like, oh, damn it, that's ended that whole storyline.
Bevish on Twitch reckons delusional Ryan there. I think he's on the side of Levan coming through and stomping him by the sounds of it. Daring to dream. What's the psychology of this? Like I haven't privately spoken to Devon in some time, but when I was on the fix with him last Sunday, I asked him like what it means, like how are you feeling? Is this one making you nervous? Like you've been there, but is this the biggest match for you? Is this one genuinely getting to you as well? And he said, look, yeah, it is. I think he is feeling the pressure. He recognizes this task as he is actually fighting someone that I think he just knows Levan is stronger. He knows he is going into a match where he doesn't know if he's good enough. He used the words, "I hope I've done enough," and to me, that was a bit of a chink in his armor for me when I heard him say, "Ooh," and he said, "I hope I've done enough." But it mentally for Devon going up against an opponent that even in his own mind he just admits he's stronger. How does he turn that into a positive mental attitude and a weapon, given the grandness of this situation? Is it possible to take the fact your opponent is just flat out stronger than you, and derive belief from that situation? How do you do it?
Yeah, I think it's such a driving force to know that you are the underdog because you've got everything to prove. And you have to do a lot of positive self-talk and a lot of self-belief. And I'm just thinking of when Muhammad Ali was fighting George Foreman. And George Foreman had absolutely crushed his previous opponent who had beaten Muhammad Ali. And they've announced the match, Muhammad Ali versus George Foreman. Everyone's going, oh, well, George Foreman's going to kill Muhammad Ali. And Muhammad Ali said all the way through the marketing, all the way through, I'm going to dance, I'm going to move, I'm going to shake, I'm going to win, I'm going to beat this guy. He's never seen anything like what I'm going to do. I'm the man, I'm going to do it. And he went out and he did do it. And in the way he did it, it's going to be very similar to the way that Devon would be winning his match, where he laid on the ropes, he let George Foreman get tired, and then he took over and got the knockout. So in terms of that framework, it's very similar to the way that this match could play out. But in terms of the mentality, if you ever watch there's a great documentary called it's not Rumble in the Bronx, that's Jackie Chan. Well, the match was the Rumble in the Jungle. But,
Rumble in the Jungle.
Yeah. And you see all the hype leading up to the match. And you see Muhammad Ali's attitude was always 100%, I'm going to win this match. There is no way I'm this guy cannot beat me. There's no way he can beat me. And, everyone in the world was saying, well, you're kind of like, delusional, mate. Like that, this guy's just got to kill you. And it's like, no, he's never seen what I'm going to do. I'm going to move. I'm going to dance. I'm going to shake. I'm going to twist. I'm going to be invisible. Yeah. And he had that mental attitude. I think it's so important.
It's interesting, isn't it? And that is a great analogy. This is, it is that moment for the sport. I'll show you how great I am moment. Because if we look at just where the world ranks Devon, Western arm wrestling fans will rank Devon high. Eastern arm wrestling fans will rank Devon about 8 in the world. So take an average. He's not in the realm according to the average opinion. So he is totally outgunned. It is ludicrous, as we had a comment up here from Aaron. He said your heart goes with Devon and your head definitely with Levan, and that's very, very true. But if Devon does pull off the Muhammad Ali here, and Devon throws a degree of confusion into the ring, there is possibility, as you said, and it's the rope-a-dope that Ali hit is exactly, it's the King's move, isn't it? The King's move is the rope-a-dope, sitting down there on the brink of defeat. Copying,
talking trash. He was talking trash to George. He's like, "Come on, George, you can't even break popcorn with those punches."
I thought you could hit harder. What's going on? I thought you had more side pressure, Levan. I thought you had more hand control, Levan. What's going on, Levan?
Oh man, that should be the next video.
Don't give me shivers down my spine, man. I don't want.
That's gonna be the next video. You gotta do a comparison.
Yeah. That's a great comparison video. Hey, I like the thing about it is you hope that you get, like, I remember growing up as a kid and my dad talking about Ali and saying how amazing that moment was, and I watched that documentary that you talked about, and I remember thinking, yeah, this is so freaking cool. That's what makes sport freaking amazing, is shit like that. When that happens, that's like, yes, it's so good. You always hope that you're going to see something like that in your lifetime. When you're paying attention to it, it's not just going to be a story you heard about. You want to see it, and that's one of the things when I think about the mental pressure of this situation, whether it's from the perspective Levan's in, or the fact that Devon's in this position. I think that opportunity equivalent, as you said, it's on the line. Like all the stars have aligned to this moment to make it possible that this actually could be one of those stories in sporting history of the impossible being done. So, man, I hope it happens. I hope it happens. How good would it be, though? It'd just be freaking crazy. Do you think a story like that in the sport of arm wrestling, if it happens that way, does it break out of just arm wrestling fans? Does it get talked about in the sheds at the football that are from people who've never heard about it, and in the schoolyards of high school and colleges around the world? Do they say, "Did you see this Devon Larratt bloke who beat this friggin' giant?" Like, does it happen?
It's got the most potential to grow the sport if Devon Larratt wins. I've got people coming through the gym that I barely talk to that are watching your videos, and they're going, "Oh, that Levan dude. Oh, well. Do you think Devon's got a chance?" And it's like, "Oh, I didn't even know you knew anything about arm wrestling." And they're like, "Yeah, I've been watching it." "Yeah, what do you think about Devon? Does he have a shot?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's got a shot, but I think it's going to be 6-0 Levan." But it's crazy. Like, people are getting involved in this, and if Devon can pull it off, if he can win, and if it's an amazing match, that would be even better. Like, if this goes, if it goes 3-3, do they do a sudden death round?
They will, yeah. It'll go silver bullet then.
And if they do that and Devon wins that round, that would be the best moment in the sport ever. And
we will lose it. Everyone will lose it. The internet will, at least in the arm wrestling world, we will all friggin' lose it. Everyone will go psycho. There will be 10,000 accounts going live talking about how psycho this moment is. Like, it'll be amazing. It'll be the best thing possible for the sport. There'll be this sudden boom explosion of just furious activity involving the word arm wrestling. It'll be massive. It's the best thing that could happen for the sport. And what could potentially break it out is the fact that all of this is going to be on a Netflix documentary. So
really?
Devon's had, just like pulling John, how they followed John and they in the Nemiroff Cup to face Alexei Vovoda. All that's happening again for this match. The camera crew have gone to Georgia. The camera crew have been following Devon for 6 months or something. And it's gonna head to Netflix. So
I had no idea. That's amazing.
If Devon wins, and let me tell you the other cool thing. You know who's behind it? If you had to pick a production company. No, if you had to think much bigger. If you had to pick a production company led by a megastar, just pick the megastar.
Mark Wahlberg.
Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, what?
Stallone's company is behind this. So
wow.
It's going to be good. The production value is going to be there. If it's Stallone's brand doing it, it's going to be mega. So this is a big moment for the sport. This match, if Devon wins this in Ali style, then it's.
Did you see? Remember in that documentary that the tide started to turn in the media's perception of who would win. It started out, Muhammad Ali's just going to get destroyed, and over time, as the match got closer and closer, people changed their opinion. And he was training in Africa, and all the Africans were saying, "Ali, Ali, kill him." And they were all on his side. When he came out, he was the favorite. And that's what you're seeing happening. It's repeating itself right now.
Yeah, that's a good point. And, it just makes me think of one thing that I wish was happening. I wish there was a freaking enormous crowd.
Yeah. Where are they doing it?
It's one of the things that is just missing. It's just missing. We need a Devon Larratt Boumoye chair going. We need that.
Yeah.
How good would that be?
That would have made such an impact because a crowd reacting to somebody moving, getting a stop, false starting, and yelling, screaming, getting involved in the match, that can affect the outcome of the match. That's a big deal.
It invigorates the athlete. When you get a stop and you hear the crowd roar, rise, you're like, fuck yes, I got it.
That's right.
If it's silence, it's not the same.
Why are they making these mistakes, Ryan Bowen?
Oh man, but look, it's still gonna be there. They need to. I don't know how they do it. This shorter notice, I don't know how. I don't know if they're gonna have a crowd. And if the crowd is there, I hope the people of Dubai are as passionate as the rest of us about this match. Because if they're sitting there with their cups of tea going, very nice.
Yeah, we saw that in Larry's productions. But there was people in the background, looking at their phone during the match. Man, if I was doing the production, I would be like, get that guy out of shot right now. He can't. People just wandering through, it was just a pathway, it was in the way. They're just sort of stepping past. No, this is not how this is supposed to be.
Honestly, I don't know what the finances are behind this moment. I don't know how many pay-per-views have been sold. I'm certain it's the biggest ever, though. I don't know. It's worth paying to get a crowd in there. It's it's worth, when I say paying to get a crowd, I'm saying it's worth paying the expenses to travel people that genuinely care about this match there. It's almost that important. Like
you and me.
Yeah. I will yell Boumoye, Devon Boumoye.
And he'd be like, "What are you saying? I don't know what you're saying."
We're not in Africa, right? We're not in Africa. Although kill him. I don't know. Maybe yelling someone kill him in Dubai is not a good move. Their cultural.
It's probably not a good idea. Yeah.
Cultural rules over there are probably a little frowned upon, that sort of stuff. But anyway, so maybe I'll fix something else. But, anyway, that is one of the things that is a sad point. But all in all, it's still the moment it is, and it's still watched by 1 million. And it's gonna be on Netflix. Win or lose, it's gonna be on Netflix for Devon, with Devon being the center of this story. If we recall pulling John, Vovoda won commandingly. And they followed John for that whole thing. A lot of differences here, however, if we look at that parallel. But pulling John, despite the center man of the story not winning, was still a significant footprint for the sport during its time.
I think John was pretty close to winning that match against Vovoda. If you watch it when they're out of straps, when their first grip up, Vovoda hits and John is on his way to losing, but then he starts to turn it, and then he swings back and Vovoda slips. It slips. And you see John go, oh, this close. He was this close to winning before they went to straps, and then he got beaten. But it was like, well, he could have won it in that moment.
Yeah. Well, what are the critical moments for Devon? What will be the thing he has to win in order to get this match?
The long game. Just got to win the long game. He's got to tire Levan out. And as you said, if he's sweating after the first round, awesome. That's great. That's going to play into my strategy. I need to get him more tired. I need to keep messing around with the rules. I need to keep gripping that hand and squeezing it. I keep false starting. I need to foul. I need to make this match drawn out as long as I can. And it's 6 rounds. That's a long time. Like six pins. If he doesn't flash pin him, if he's going to slip, he's going to go to straps. They're going to get strapped together. He's going to foul. He's going to false start. He's going to this. It's like that's probably half an hour of arm wrestling matches. So I think
the running foul factor too. That's the running foul factor, king's move factor, i.e. drag your elbow off the back of the table to get a stop and take the foul for it. But that to me is I don't know how Levan is going to deal with that, because I anticipate round one, once they've gone through all those shenanigans of the setups and the slips and the starts, and they're actually in the straps and they actually say go. If Devon just feels like, oh shit, way too much power, he's just going to pin me, he won't let that happen. He will, before that happens, enter into an illegal position, drag his elbow off the back, lever off his forearm, and get a stop. And then that's just a running foul. He'll return to the pad. Levan does it, surge number 2. He'll do it again. He's got 3 fouls to do it. So that's a lot of bullets. Does Levan back off when Devon goes off the back of the pad?
He's going to have to have analyzed all the potential things that Devon's going to be doing, and it'd be so difficult because Levan is so traditional in the way that he pulls, and so many Europeans have a very, very stock standard. We get gripped up and we run straight to the pad. There's none of this like trying to manipulate this and set up that. No. Not to the level that you see in the North American side of things. And so he's now going in with his style, which is very straightforward. I put my elbow here, I get my hand gripped up by the referee, and I go to the pad. To now he's got to anticipate, well, what's my opponent going to be trying to do? He's going to be messing around. I've got to make sure that he's not gripping my hand, that he's not going to be false starting, that he's not going to be trying to get height on the setup, that he's going to do this. But when I put power in, I've got to watch his elbow to make sure he doesn't slip off, and then I don't waste my energy. There's so many elements that he's going to have to have thought of or have a game plan for. Because if he's like, I'm driving to the pad and his elbow fouled in a king's move, and he's got a stop, do I just let him win? But then it looks like he beat me, because it's like he gets the running foul restart. But people might think, oh, Devon just pinned you. It's like, no, he pinned me because of the, but so he might, that ego might play into that as well.
It is tricky. It's complex for Levan like it's never been complex before. This is his first ever start, as far as I'm aware, in a running foul situation. He's only pulled rigid rules. And if anything is true, it's this. Going from one rule set to another is difficult. It is. No matter who you are, it is difficult. The first time you step into another style of arena in respect to the refereeing, that lack of familiarity costs you something. It does. Anyway, guys, we got a bunch of you in the chat. Got 59 in there. We've been on for an hour. I wanted to thank you so far. We got a few in there. We got a couple from Twitch. Bevish JG258. I genuinely care. He genuinely cares about this match. Baby Rage. I'm not sure what the Baby Rage thing is, but he genuinely cares. Good to see you here, man. Hey, the poll on the your life depends on it. Who you're betting on? It's currently 52% Devon.
Run to the betting grounds.
I know. It looks like we're getting a Thanos moment there, where Levan's going to click his fingers and just wipe out those 52. That could be the case. Bevy says pretty chill podcast from Twitch. Thank you, brother. We like to take it slow here on the deep end. No rushing. We're gonna talk things and just roll with it. Papuna, what else is going on in the chat? Well, it would be funny if in his documentary Levan crushes him. It would be
it'd be the worst thing.
The producers and directors are praying for a Devon victory. They're doing everything possible. Please, Devon, for the sake of the viewership of this this video, please win. Because they're going to have a much harder job selling it if Levan crushes Devon. Yes, that's true. Another one here from Ruben Natez 7. What happened to Igor Mazarinko in his top 8 events? Did they go under? The last I heard of them, brother, was I actually spoke to Anna Mazarenko maybe 4 or 5 months ago. And their events, just through the travel restrictions that were in place during COVID, just got knocked over. They just couldn't do it, couldn't handle it. They couldn't get the events staged in different countries. They tried a million different governments and couldn't get it together. So they released their athletes from the bounds of their contract, which obviously Levan was one of those athletes, to go and compete wherever they can to earn a living. They have every intent of being back, however. They did say that. So that's all I got. But that was about 4 or 5 months ago. Buddy Hale says Devon just got a bunch of jerky from Texas last night, so we all know everything is bigger in Texas. Jerky straight to the pumpkin. Good stuff. Good stuff. Are you going to make Coach Ray pin himself? I do not intend to. I only do that to people that are genuinely in my realm. But because the pin yourself thing, believe it or not, it's actually because I have to. I can't pin someone. But so I bleed them and I just hold them and squeeze them until they pin themselves. It looks like I'm dominating them, but it's actually, the truth of it is I'm working my ass off to win the match, and that's the most efficient way for me to win. I don't need to do that against Coach Ray. I'm just going to pin him. Bang. Done. See you later. This match is so over-discussed. Joe Rowe. What do you reckon about that, Matt?
Biggest match in arm wrestling history. We need to hype it more, if anything. More videos, more sharing, more content. This is going to be huge. If you're a fan of arm wrestling, you should be getting behind this, talking about it with everyone you know, getting everyone to buy the pay-per-view and hype this event, because there's not going to be anything bigger this year, that's for sure.
We have to strike whilst the iron's hot, don't we? Like, it's crazy not to, as you said, to let an opportunity like this match pass. It's irresponsible of everyone that's trying to grow the sport, fans included. Everyone, if there's a part of you that wants to grow this sport, right now is our best opportunity. We don't know which video, which podcast, which discussion point is going to be the discussion point that reaches someone like a Joe Rogan, that reaches someone like an ESPN. You never know. I can tell you right now, I was contacted in the last 24 hours by a media outlet in the UK that had heard about this match. They said, Ryan, I want to do an interview with you about this match. I'm like, hell yes, let's do it. Okay. That sort of stuff happens because we're banging on the door, because this is the biggest moment in the sport. Yes, you personally might be over it. Okay. You don't have to watch all the videos. We're not doing this for you. We're doing this for the sport. And right now we are going hard, because if we miss this one, if this opportunity goes by and we say, shit, I got lazy. Yeah, we don't deserve for the sport to reach mainstream and grow big. Okay. So you're going to see everyone who loves the sport pumping this one all the way to the moment of the match. And probably for 2 weeks after, 3 weeks after, if Devon wins for a year after, I don't know. People still a year after will be creating content going, hey, did you see this one? Remember this? Okay, so get used to it, get comfortable. Like I said, you don't have to watch them all. If you think you've seen it all, fair enough. But realize the perspective of what's going on the big picture. All right, what else got? Interesting here. NL Fat Legless Bird. Sounds like a Neil pickup line. Says, betting money, I bet on Devon, but my life for Levan. So I like that. That's some truth there. That there's an exhilaration to betting money on a freaking heroic story and actually getting it winning, isn't it? That's like, hell yeah, I was brave enough to do it, and I got the return. Hell yeah. And then you can tell your buddies, I freaking called it. I called it. You need proof? Look at my account. I did. And then look, if Levan crushes him, you just don't tell your buddies, and hey, good.
Yeah, tell them about the $50 you just lost.
So I get it. There's a lot of truth in that one. Thank you, Fat Legless Bird. What else do we got? What else we got in the chat? Will the size and body structure of Levan be a disadvantage for him to press in case Devon goes into a King's move? Have you seen Levan press?
No.
No, have I.
No, top roll.
He's a top roller. Top roller. Even if he goes into a hook, he's a pronator from the hook. He doesn't supinate. I've never seen him press. That said, if his hand is if he bangs sideways and he feels his hand is flattening and he feels his body's giving him all the indications that, oh shit, this is not working, most people in that situation have the instinct to dump and just crash into a flop press. And I would bet he has that. If that's what he goes to, it'll be there. It will be there. I don't doubt that it'll be there. It'll be there.
So I can like Michael Todd, Jerry Caderet style.
Yeah, just no finish at all, just sitting there forever.
You see how much Jerry was sweating? They put the money for that match on the table. That was a mistake. Jerry sweated like a liter of sweat on that money.
Well, Levan may top that yet again. I think that a man that size, he might sweat 5 liters. All right, Buddy Hale wants to see another flex off. Let's see the guns, Matt. Okay, just look. Matt is clearly Devon, and I'm clearly Levan. I look so inferior to you. It's ridiculous. I can't do it. Nothing about my arm that looks better than yours there.
But you absolutely crush me on the arm wrestling table. That's all that matters.
What's going to happen here? You're the Devon version. We want you to win. Aditsa. What else? Aaron Kramer. How close are we to arm wrestling exploding? What needs to happen outside of the table? That's a good question. It's a bit unknown, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's unknown. But you never know when you're going to hit the big time. You never know when you're going to hit the oil. But you got to keep drilling, haven't you? You got to keep going. We're leaning into this collectively. People like Devon, Levan, us, fans, promoters, we're leaning into it. We don't know when it happens, but the more we lean into it, the better our chances. And when we reflect on what's happened in the past, you can certainly see the growth of the sport in the last 2 years in particular. Very dramatic. It's working. What we're doing collectively is working. What form it happens, what form it comes in for exploding, it's yet to be known. But look, money is the first thing, is the major component. We need enough money to facilitate high quality across the board. The athletes need to be paid well, which they are now. The athletes are being paid well. The promotions need to make enough profit that they can hire professionals across the board. Sound, lighting, technology, marketing, storytelling, commentary, all that sort of stuff. If we get to those points, they're the back end working pieces that need to be in place for then us to deliver a product at a level sufficient to entertain sports fans globally. So we need to keep leaning into the sport and get the money up until we can do that. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Did I miss it?
Promoting events like this one that's coming up is what needs to happen. You need to get as many people looking at this, believing in this match, wanting to see this match, believing the storytelling and being invested in the characters and creating a knowledge that people understand that arm wrestling is a thing. I still get people saying, "Oh, is arm wrestling? Oh, what is that? Is that a thing? You can actually do it?" But it's less and less. There's more people that are like, "Oh, talking about Devon, they're talking about this matchup," because it's being exposed at a greater level. And there'll come a point. I think this is the way it really explodes. And I see this with I watch a lot of like Street Fighter, right? The tournament stuff. And then they've got the whole esports leagues, around the world. And you look at something like, say, League of Legends, this video game that now has $1 million payouts for the people who win their tournaments. And they've got people from around the world playing this. It has its own subculture. It has found its place, and it came about through the grassroots people putting on events, putting it on professionally, and continuously raising the level until somebody with money and a backer, a sponsor said, "Hey, we want to get involved in this. We want to help you with production." And you get a few of those together, and then you can start to really raise the game and raise the level. And for somebody who's looking at it for the first time, they go, "Oh, it's a League of Legends thing. It's a computer game." And you look, there's 100,000 people in person watching this event, as well as millions online, and it's $1 million payout to the winner. And you're like, "Oh wow!" And it's got professional commentary, they've got professional storyline, drama, this, that. It's like, wow, this is a huge deal. And you think, oh, that's just from a video game. So arm wrestling, I think, is way superior to that because you have the human element, you've got the combative element. You are trying to pin somebody, physically trying to dominate them. People can understand that. You don't need to understand the rules of a video game. It's very simple. I'm trying to put your arm there. You're trying to put my arm there. Who's going to do it?
Yeah. Hey, Aaron Kramer has come in, and Matt, I'd like to refer to you on this because I know you were a fan and a watcher of the UFC for a long time. He said, "I watched the UFC prior to going big. I feel like it's just a matter of time for arm wrestling to hit. You might not like Dana White, but he was the face that did that. Who could be the face of arm wrestling? Ryan Bowen, wink, wink. You never know." Is there a parallel in the early days UFC and arm wrestling right now?
There was a key moment that made the UFC successful. The UFC was bankrupt after their first 6 events. They were in the hole. They were losing money. They ended up selling the company. Dana White was managing Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell at the time. He found out the UFC wanted to sell because they were I think they were $30 million in debt at that point. He happened to know a couple of rich friends, the Fertitta brothers, and he said, "I think we should buy the UFC. I think this is why." They then ran with another, say, 20, 25 events that also lost money. It wasn't until they did the Ultimate Fighter TV series, they got a deal to put the Ultimate Fighter on TV, and it got exposed to the mainstream audience. And even throughout that, the ratings were mediocre. It wasn't great. It was an elimination style show with 2 coaches, 2 teams. Somebody loses the fight. There was always a fight at the end of every episode. The key moment that made the UFC was the finale, and it was Stephen Bonner and Forrest Griffin. And they had one of the best fights of all time. And it was free on live TV that anybody could watch. You didn't have to have a cable subscription. It was there. And the ratings for that fight after the first round started increasing massively. Up to the second round, you could see that people were obviously ringing their friends, "You got to watch this fight. This is a crazy fight." And it launched the UFC into, because people still didn't realize that there was a whole UFC tournament event, like the UFC was the event, the pay-per-view event. They thought the whole thing was just the Ultimate Fighter. And it's like, no, you're winning a contract to become part of the UFC.
Get into it. Yeah.
That's right. And they banked on that. They put the money into it. It was like a last-ditch effort, because if this went wrong and it didn't work, they were probably going to be selling as well and getting out of it. That was the key moment that really launched the UFC, was that fight took place in the finale. It was the best possible situation that could have happened. It was back and forth. It was an amazing fight, and it launched people into watching, what is this thing, Ultimate Fighting? That got the attention they needed to then be successful.
Yeah, wow. So can this be that Forrest Griffin moment sort of thing?
I hope so, but I still think
it is a pay-per-view. It's not free, as you said, so that is one difference.
I think the big difference in the time frame that we're in now is the internet and the online community. Is that people like yourself are pushing this content, they're pushing the narrative, and they're getting it in front of as many people as possible. And the way that the YouTube algorithm works, if somebody likes boxing, then maybe they'll be recommended one of your arm wrestling videos, and you have the ability to push and expose your sport on a much greater level through people that are doing it in a way. They're doing it for you, or they're online through their own content creation, as opposed to relying on a major TV network.
Yeah. The landscape has definitely changed on how we reach the end consumer now, isn't it? And as you say, that it's a much more free market now. You don't have to be on a television network. We've got the mainstream audience right at our fingertips, and the better we get. And as you're very aware, and if you guys have seen the way I'm conducting content on my main channel, I'm trying as hard as I can to upscale and upskill myself so that we can deliver a product that reflects that of professional sports like the UFC and every other sport out there. Because arm wrestling hasn't had that. It certainly hasn't. So if we can consistently provide that, look at. So thank you for the comment. Where was it? It was Aaron Clemmer. There he is again, Aaron. Yeah, man, I would be honored to be the Dana White equivalent someday. I love the sport. I really feel at home with this new phase of storytelling. I'm having a hell of a lot of fun doing it, and we are seeing success. I mean, again, back to, I forget the name of the gentleman before that said this is being overdone. I can tell you right now, just off the top of my head, I've had in the last 10 days something like 4 million views on Devon Larratt, Levan, Saginashvili content. 4 million. Do you still think it's a bad idea that we got those 4 million views because you're over it? I don't think so. Like, that's what we're going for. And across the whole sport, with all the content creators, Devon included, Levan included, everyone, it might be at 40 million. I don't know. But it is good that we're reaching those numbers. Like I said, you don't know who's watching. And the fact that Devon has now got Stallone's production company, like the network is growing. People in the sport, because of this, are having greater opportunities to have conversations with people that are just higher up the network ladder in terms of getting out there in the world of sports entertainment. So it is only a good thing that we're smashing at this content. And I do hope that this is I hope that the comments are right when they say we're 2 to 3 years away from being at that critical moment. Maybe the case. We'll come back to this podcast and check in 3 years and go, look at that. Bang on. Aaron Kramer says, by the way, I want to compliment you, Matt, on that amazing little summary of the UFC, because that was awesome. He said, yes, I remember The Ultimate Fighter. Awesome. Forrest Griffin v. Stephen Bonner was legendary. I do believe I watched way after the fact. I've seen that episode and that fight, and I do recall the fight being savage. But hearing the history of it and the way Dana bought into the UFC is very fascinating, because arm wrestling has been through ups and downs with arm wrestling's been through a lot of ups and downs with, let's just call them venture capitalists, people with money buying in for a period of time and injecting cash into the sport and putting on some great production levels. People like Steve Kaplan, WAL, very successful businessman outside of arm wrestling already, came in with huge, awesome production value. But COVID, it was and the travel restrictions really crushed them. And I don't know if they'll be back. I think that there's whispers they're coming back, but will they be back in the same capacity? I don't know. And I was a WAL athlete. the difference, what I see with where we're at now, is the fact that everyone in the last 2 years, because of the travel restrictions, everyone got reduced down to themselves. We all had to take responsibility for promotions of our own story, promotions of our own events that we were getting involved in. YouTube became the main arena for us to do that, the main ecosystem for athletes and commentators, everyone. We saw people like Neil Pickup. I don't know if you can recall, go back 2 years, Neil Pickup started his new channel that is now wildly successful, where he would interview, and he called it, what was he calling it? The very first episodes he was doing, it was like deep inside the minds of, that's what it was, deep inside the minds of series. And he was so well networked, and he had no work. I remember Neil was like, shit, all my events that I was going to be commentating at, Giants Live, all this kind of stuff, work's gone. We're in lockdown. Neil had to come up with something, and COVID and all this bullshit caused people like Neil to think outside the box. And what Neil's produced is he went in and just told the stories of every single athlete. I remember he was putting out videos daily, like 50-minute podcasts daily. And I was like, oh, you're learning so much about all these different athletes that are massive names in the sport. And so not just Neil, but Uncle John, myself, Aussie Arm Wrestler, Matt Connolly, and countless more started doing the same thing. And it forced the sport to evolve, and it's forced athletes to evolve and take responsibility for their own brand. And they've done so. And where we are now, 2 years down the track of having that being the main effort, is I think it's the best place we've been in the sport. And there is big opportunity from here forward. So, and all ships rise with the tide. That's the cool thing. All ships rise with the tide. I'm seeing so many arm wrestling YouTube channels now, proper crushing it. It's great.
Yeah, there is something that needs to happen for it to be successful at the level of the UFC. And UFC was very clever with the way that they did this, is that they became the number one in that field, cage fighting or pancrase or, no rules, no holds barred, whatever. It's like, no, people think of it as UFC. They branded it. They made it. This is what people go, oh, do you fight UFC? What are you talking about? That doesn't make sense. But that's what people would think. It's like Colgate with toothpaste. They became the known entity because they were the best. They had the best fighters. They put on the best events. And it will take an organization to solidify that in arm wrestling, where everyone, so if they're putting on the best events, they're putting them on consistently, and they become the known element, the known quantity. If you like arm wrestling, it is this, I don't know, let's say the UFC of arm wrestling. And it's like that is how it needs to grow. That will take off. You'll probably find some copycat organizations that will try to spring up that will get crushed because they won't have the big names. They won't have the production element. They won't have the mainstream audience. And that's what's happened with UFC. You see Strikeforce, you see Elite XE that did try to compete, and they just got bought out. UFC was like, well, we'll let you waste your money on your events that no one's going to watch, and then we'll swoop in and say we'll give you $5 million for all of it and all your fighters. And it's like, oh, okay. So similar thing would need to happen with arm wrestling. There needs to be one known quantity, one known element that is overseeing and that everyone goes to do the arm wrestling.
Yeah, there you go. Good stuff. Because there are a lot of infancy, sort of like King of the Table is it's still infancy. East vs West is infancy. Arm Wars is somewhat trying a resurgent in a new style. Like that's about it for the moment that is out there. But who knows? Who knows what's in the future? Buddy Hale, thank you for the support, brother. He says, Ryan, sir, as a new fan of arm wrestling, I personally can't thank you enough for everything you've done for the sport. You'll be at the top of the list for sure. Sky's the limit. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It's an honor for me to just be a small part of a big machine, and as we say, all ships rise with the tide. So I appreciate the support, brother. Aaron Kramer says, "Make it happen." A Ultimate Fighter equivalent. I don't know if it would work in arm wrestling, that specific formula, but anyway, I'd appreciate the support. Aaron Kramer, you're the man. Thank you. What else we got? Oh, hang on, I've done that one. Can't believe it's next weekend, says Pablo. Yeah, we're close. We're real close. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you knew, but Hollywood Matt Connolly, is flying up from South Australia. He will be sitting in this studio right here. Those biceps are still going to genuine flex off with the same lighting, the same depth of field, everything. And you'll see us still get smoked. But yeah, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some fun. So let me. I know we've got 53 people in the chat here. Okay, you guys. We'll let you know the format of what's going to go down because we're going to do some pretty special things. Okay, so the event kicks off I'm going to speak in Australian Brisbane time here, so just bear with me. I don't know what time it actually starts in the USA. I don't know. Hang on. Let me do some research. Matt Connolly, can you do some Google research for me whilst I'm talking? What time in the USA does it start? If it's Brisbane, 5 a.m. Sunday. 5 a.m. Sunday. What's the time in LA? So what we are going to be doing 4 hours prior to the kickoff of the pay-per-view is when the coverage will kick off from myself and Matt Connolly on my YouTube channel. You got a time for me, Matt?
4 p.m.
4 p.m. Okay. So 4 p.m. in what city are we in? LA?
That would be in Washington. It's some slight variations depending on where you are, but I think it's like an hour, 2 hours around that.
Okay, so what Washington time 4 p.m. is when the pay-per-view is going to be kicking off. So at lunchtime, Washington, 12 p.m. Washington time. Okay, just when everyone's getting their barbecues fired up, when you're getting the practice round, you're getting all the local arm wrestlers in your area, or you've gone down to the pub and you've convinced the publican there to put this on because, hey, look, that's what they should be doing. Everyone should be going to their local pub and saying, guys, there's a massive freaking event on that you are going to want to watch. That your members here in the club are going to absolutely be stunned to watch. Put it on the big screen. Convince a pub to put their pay-per-view on. That's what you should be doing. But anyway, what we're going to be doing is 4 hours prior to that. So from lunchtime in Washington, you're going to see a premiere is going to come out on my channel that is going to build the hype. It is going to build the momentum as we get closer. Now, the way I expect you to watch that is not to sit down and watch every second of it, but have it on in the background, right? You're at the barbecue, you're drinking beers, you're sharing stories with your boys. Who's going to win? You're taking bets with cash with each other. Your wives are telling you you're idiots and you're obsessed with something crazy, weird sport. All that stuff's going on. And in the background, you've got the music playing and whatnot. You've got this on. Okay, this is the video, the premiere that will run in the background. And every now and then, it's going to grab your attention. You're going to hear something. You're going to go, oh, shit. And you're going to watch it and be like, oh, my goodness, yes. How close now till the go? And yeah, so that's how you're going to watch it. That's how the premiere is going to run. Now, that's going to start 4 hours prior to the pay-per-view. It will continue all the way up to about 2 hours prior. It's going to kick over to live myself, Matt Connolly, in this studio. And we're going to have guest appearances as well. Lachlan Adair will be coming in at some stage as well throughout the broadcast. Lachlan Adair, Oceanic, #1 ranked arm wrestler. He will be here as well to talk about it. We're going to have another guest appearance from Ethan Tunstall, the man who fought Larry Wheels, scared the pants off Larry Wheels, did Ethan Tunstall. He'll be here as well. So we're going to have a bunch of guests come in. We're going to talk a lot about what's going on. Get into the specifics. Now, in that live, we're going to be giving away 20 pay-per-view codes to the event. So if you're in the situation where you haven't been able to get it yet, you haven't been able to afford it, whatever the story is, we're going to give you a chance to do it. Now, you need to turn the notification bells onto that because that's going to be the first order of the day. When we go live, we're giving away codes. I haven't yet worked out how we're going to give them away fairly and just efficiently. It might just be the case. My first thought, I don't know, does this sound crazy, Matt Connolly? In the chat? Does this sound crazy? I'm thinking the easiest way to do it is to say, guys, look, because we might have thousands of people in that chat at this stage. We might have 10,000 people in the chat at this stage. I don't know. How do you do that? How do you keep up with that? All I think I'm going to do is I'm going to write the damn code down on a bit of paper, say, Guys, get your Core Sports website ready. Go. And I'm going to hold up the code. And whoever the first person that gets the code into the damn website successfully, it's yours. I'm going to do that 20 times. That's what I'm thinking. Would that work?
I think that's probably the fairest way to do it. It shows you've got some skills that you're really desperate. People desperately typing on their keyboard. No.
Exactly. I feel like that's all I can do. I feel like if we have that many people in the chat, I can't pick a name and then try to get their email and try to freaking send it to them and stuff. I'm just going to hold up a code. Guys, here's the code. This will get you a pay-per-view. First person to get it in wins. 20 times. It'll be fun.
I think it's good.
Fun.
Yeah, that'll work. It's going to create some people desperately rushing to their PC.
Aaron says, that is chaotic. I love it. Good stuff. That will be fun. So we're going to be giving away 20 codes, as I said. Don't miss that. So the live build-up will happen. During the live build-up, I'm going to be on the phone as well. Yeah, the code. There it is. That's what it is.
The code.
Right now. During that live, where we're in the room, look, I'm going to be spontaneous as well. I might give John Brzezinski a call. Might give people that are in the room over there a call. Might give Neil Pickup a call. Give anyone a call. To just say, hey, what's the feeling? What's the buzz? What's the go? Give Jody Larratt a call. I don't know. I wouldn't dare give Devon or Levan a call, but I'll be giving everyone a damn call that I can to see whose opinions are. So that's the plan. We're going to just freaking call people constantly to see what's going on around the world. All the best arm wrestlers that have big opinions. I want to hear them. I'm going to call them. So that's the sort of thing that you can expect on the live in the build-up. As we get closer to the match again, hey, we'll see a few stirring pieces of content that'll be like, oh my goodness, this is crazy, that we'll release. And then, of course, the big match will happen. You'll need to have your pay-per-view on one screen, which I encourage you all to do. Don't just watch us. Have them both up. Have the pay-per-view up. Have us up. And we will be the community that gives you all the friggin' opportunity to talk shit with your mates, to go, oh my goodness, my mind is blown what I've just seen, or to be devastated that Levan has cracked him 6-0 and it's over. And Levan's the king of the world. Whatever happens, the community will be going off in there. And because as good as Core Sports is, to watch it silently by yourself in your room with no chat, like how could you do that? It'd be
It's a
so
different
boring.
experience, isn't it?
It'd be so boring. So get them both going. Get the both streams up. We will have a blast. Like I said, I'll be calling people all night. I feel like you know how when it's New Year's Eve and random people call random people and say Happy New Year and all that sort of nonsense. You get text messages from a person you haven't spoken to in a decade, and you're like, what the hell? I got a text message from a dude at school that said Happy New Year's. Okay. It's going to be like that. The world's going to go a little bit loopy. If Devon wins, we're all going to go a little bit loopy. If we win, I will get Devon Larratt on the phone. I will not stop the live until I've got Devon Larratt on the phone. Yeah. Devon will probably be, I can't imagine. Can you imagine what Devon would sound like? Yeah, like just to get him on the phone for a minute. The dude will be so high on just elation. It'll be phenomenal.
Yeah, imagine what you would sound like. I was right the whole time. Knew you would win.
Never doubted it. Never doubted it. But ladies and gentlemen, that is what's coming next weekend. It is a big moment, a very special time for the sport. The biggest, in my opinion, most people's opinion, the biggest and most historic match in arm wrestling. And you wouldn't dare miss it. You wouldn't dare miss it. It's going to be amazing. Devon Larratt's going to win, and he's going to just blow the world up of arm wrestling. That's not my official prediction. That is still to come. But it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. When do you get up here, Matt? When do you get up here?
Saturday morning. So yeah,
Saturday morning. All right, we got a busy
time.
Saturday. Matt, get this Saturday. We are going to be furiously filming content all day Saturday that will be released on Sunday for us, which is when the event is on. So it is going to be good. Can't wait. Matt, you got anything to add?
Oh, it's going to be huge. I'm really. I mean, as I said, this is the biggest arm wrestling match that's probably happened ever, and to be in this sort of a platform, to be in this sort of a community, to have the opportunity with the people that can come to your channel, they can listen to what your commentary, but they've also, like you said before we went live, it's a place that you can talk about the event with everyone at the same time, and hopefully we get thousands of people in there and they're all talking about what's going on and is he going to do this, and after each round you're going to see an explosion of what happened, and it's just going to be amazing. Yeah, so it's a big moment, I think, in arm wrestling. This is a big moment.
It is. It's amazing. I can't wait. Devon's trimming hook. Don't be ridiculous, mate. Don't be ridiculous. He says at this point, I think Devon is even stronger than you, Ryan.
Is there something you could beat Devon at? Could you beat Devon at a certain lift or something?
No.
I'd
be silly. Yeah. Tennis. I beat him in a game of tennis. That's about it.
There you go. His arm doesn't extend.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're going to struggle to serve. But ladies and gents, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Please do subscribe to Hollywood Matt Connolly this way. Hollywood Matt Connolly, his YouTube channel. Also, this new YouTube channel here, it's brand new. This is where all the kind of my casual content will be in the future, live stream content in the future. When I say casual content, I'm talking about me, like my journey, my shit talk to Ray and stuff, my training. All on the Ryan Blue Bowen channel. The other one, that's the high-end production. That's where the big effort goes in. That's where we will be during this call. But yeah, subscribe to both these channels too whilst you're at. I'm sure you guys already have. But anyway, actually, I know you have. If you've commented tonight, I know you're a subscriber because I turned on only subscribers are allowed to comment. And don't forget the code. There it is. It's coming. Be ready. Be ready. Get your fastest fingers. Get the victory. All right, guys, we're out of here. You take care, and we will see you next weekend for the big event.